Another episode of Dynamite Delight is here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to make this very clear. I know I can build into this. You already seen the title. I'm not going to be kind to this show. I'm not the type to sugarcoat something. I'm always honest. You guys know me. I may be decisive sometimes because it's very hard because things could be complicated. But in this, no. I barely watch WWE. I haven't looked at Raw. I'm barely looking at SmackDown. I'm going to watch a pay-per-view for Survivor Series. I don't watch NXT at all, not because I don't like it, but because I know for a fact that NXT is going to change if it hasn't already changed. And when it comes to TakeOver, why am I going to watch a TakeOver when I see the next pay-per-view of the regular roster right after it? It turns me off. That happened to me once before, where I looked at a TakeOver, I liked it, but then when I looked at what was on the roster, I didn't care anymore. So when it comes to WWE, I have barely any interest. And I'm glad for AEW. But when it comes to this episode, I'm sorry. It reminded me of the WWE. I'm being honest here. I know people would say, are you crazy? AEW is nothing like WWE. I'll explain the reason why in this review. Well, you'll see my understanding of bad booking. Because it felt like bad booking. Yes, there were things in here that were good. But it was still bad booking. Now, opening of the show was with Kenny Omega. They showed a video pack of him after the fight with Moxley in Full Gear. And it makes perfect sense. He got his ass handed to him and his story arc needs to be told. If he's going to do a rise up and eventually become champion, or at least become a mid-card champion, because it's obvious they're going to release a mid-card title eventually. My guess will be in the beginning of February. I definitely do it January. My guess will be around February to March. Maybe before the next pay-per-view. That would be the wisest thing to do. Not the first pay-per-view of the year, but the pay-per-view after that. They build into that one with a new title, with a tournament. Right now it's too soon. So we see Kenny beaten up, saying what happened to Moxley. He said he's beaten up, but he's okay. He can wrestle. I'm afraid you can't, so you gotta rest. With a big black eye, a lot of cuts in his back. You can see that in my face. And the black eye. It's fine. This was good storytelling. At least they showed us something other than what's in the ring. First match. Moxley versus the guy who trains with Kenny Omega. What was the guy's name? Nakazawa. I believe his name is Nakazawa or Nakazima. I could be wrong about the name. But it was an extremely quick match. And Moxley destroyed him. Just took him out. And then Moxley was the first to have a promo in the ring. We had how many promos? We had 1, 2, I think 3 promos and 4 promos in the ring. So I did enjoy that. But I'm going to be honest about, there was an issue that I wish they still need to address. But it was good to see promos. And Moxley said this: I respect Kenny Omega because you're the only one with balls to get into the ring with me. I respect you. But when it comes to this roster, I want blood. I want to show that I'm the top of the food chain. There's no one that's better than me. Flat out. Walks away. Fine. That's good to see a promo in the ring. We need it. Now the next, Dark Order versus the Jurassic Express. Look, we thought Luchasaurus, now you already probably seen the show, but because Luchasaurus has not been there, you got pretty much Marco Stunt taking his place. In this situation, he wore a mask coming out with Jungle Boy. It just, I don't hate Marco Stunt. I actually kind of like him. He's a very, very small wrestler that is working with bigger wrestlers. And it's okay once in a while for him to wrestle with the bigger wrestlers, not every single time. So in this situation, because Luchasaurus is not there, they had to do something. They couldn't just let Jungle Boy be by himself, so I let him do that. I know he's not very great, particularly like JD NYC doesn't like him, which I don't blame him. Seeing a very, very small wrestler all the time takes away from his gimmick. He's a very small wrestler that should only be wrestling once in a while. He's not Rey. He's not Rey Mysterio. He's not a bad wrestler, but he's not a Rey Mysterio. He just isn't. He's never going to be Rey. And he knows he's never going to be Rey. But you got to be careful when you use him, because if you overuse him, he could turn into a hornswoggle. That's something not everybody wants to think about. So I didn't expect them to win here. If they had won that match, I would have called bullshit and it was stupid. Not because I like Dark Order. Dark Order makes me think of the Ascension on the main roster of WWE. That's what they feel like. They never get any type of talking points. They never get any promo segments. They don't get anything. Not until after the match is over, of course. But normally they've got nothing. So Dark Order does win. And then you finally get something stated that, I forgot the guy's name. The evil one. The one with the mask. I'll call him that. When it came down to it, he praised Marco Stunt for doing what he's doing. But he would be better off working with Dark Order being a minion. And when it came to Jungle Boy, he wasn't going to have any of it. So they basically whooped their asses. And they were beginning to put a mask on Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt. And then finally Luchasaurus comes out. Everyone was screaming for Luchasaurus. And then the thing that got me, they telegraphed it so badly, was Jim Ross saying someone's got to come out here. Instead of him just staying quiet and saying this is a travesty, this is so wrong, this is just not right, and being quiet about it, it would have been better with the Luchasaurus coming out without any statement. Luchasaurus came out, he destroyed everyone, and it felt good to see him. He is the reason the Jurassic Express works. It's not because the other two are nothings. You got almost a 7-foot tall guy. I think it's like 6'7", 6'8". He pretty much destroyed all of them. Was it a great destruction? It wasn't too bad. But the point is that now the boy and his dinosaur are back together. And Marco Stunt can now move to the back and be a manager. I'm not saying he's going to talk for them, but he can be in a sense like a managerial role. That he's with them, he hangs out with them. It's better that way. He does not involve himself much in actual wrestling. Only once in a while as a special occasion. That will make him a little better. But this is just me. You guys tell me below. Next match. Darby Allin versus Peter Avalon versus the Chairman Spears. Here's the thing. A triple threat seems to be cool. But when you're trying to combine two things at once, you're actually trying to start something. You're trying to do something with Darby Allin dealing with Moxley. And then you're trying to do something with Shawn Spears with Joey Janela. And throwing it into a triple threat because you're not trying to build. Look. I don't even know who Peter Avalon is. And that woman who's with him, I think she's a librarian. They showed her at All In or All Out. That's, I think, the last time I saw her. I'm not even sure. But the point is, as I've said before, if you're not watching AEW Dark, if you don't have time, you don't know who these people are, you don't see any video pack, you don't see no vignette, you don't see nothing. You only see what's on the show. And as good as the match was, for many people, it wasn't a bad match for me. It was okay. It was Shawn Spears being taken out by Joey Janela, attacked by Joey Janela. He went out, he was done. And then you got the Darby Allin taking out Avalon. Didn't expect much from Avalon because I didn't know who he was. And when you heard the promo, a short word from Allin saying, Moxley, I'm up for the challenge. And now next week they're going to have that. if you're a sensible wrestling fan, you say, well, that's good, but why are you rushing it? Why? Moxley's not going to do anything after he destroys Darby Allin. Why rush it? And from there, we rush to the next thing. And this is the total glaring weakness of AEW. They went from one match to another with no pause. And they need to mix it up with some video packages. This is what I was saying before for the last show and Full Gear. No video packages. A vignette. Something to make a little bit of a gap. Look, guys. You got to understand, it's not about a person's attention span I'm talking about. It's about if you're a wrestling fan, you want to be immersed in it. And I'm not just talking about the people at the arena. I'm talking about the guys and girls who are at home watching either streaming or they're watching on their cable network or satellite network. It doesn't make a difference. They want to feel immersed. And if you do not give them time to really process what's going on, going from one thing to another, the major issue you have, it feels repetitive. Nothing changes. It's just one long action. You got to break it up to make it mean something to your fans. Now, we had something that broke everything up. It was Ali with Tony Schiavone. It was great. I enjoyed it. But then, instead of focusing on that and then maybe going to commercial, no, we went, guess what? Brandy with Kong. And she came down, wiped out Ali, and then with Brandy's order, cut off Ali's hair. They needed to keep action away a little bit. They need to break it up. It's too closely packed. And then the timing of the commercials are so bad. They should be doing commercials when there's no one in the ring or they're about to wait. They should not be showing camera work with ads. It's wrong. They really do not understand what they're doing right now. They really need to fix this problem. It is a major problem. They keep overlapping places in their stories that they are showing, and you can't hear a damn thing from the commentators or the people in the ring. They need to stop that. And I really believe, just like when it came to when I did my Full Gear review, I could not watch anything from Impact. I believe they did Victory Road on Saturday, and they did another one on Sunday, a recorded one. And I want to say this about Andre. Andre, you did a good stream. Sad that it was only maybe about 14 people who were watching. You do a good stream, my friend. I'm proud of you for how hard you're working. And thank you very much for even acknowledging me. Honestly. Not about telling people to go and subscribe, just that you did recognize me. And I thank you for that from the bottom of my heart. But at least when, like with Andre, he broke it up. He spoke to people on his stream and made sure that what was being shown in the background in his home, that you saw it. In this situation, I wish they had done something like that. Tony Schiavone and Ali should have not had the attack. Shouldn't have been attacked during that interview. Ali shouldn't have had her hair taken out. It should have just been a basic interview. And then go to commercial briefly. And then go to the next action, which it was just all so packed together. There's no time to really process anything. Not that you're stupid if you can't process it, but if you want to feel immersed, really immersed, to really feel like the person that you're looking in front of you on the screen, like Ali, means something, you should not go from Ali getting her ass handed to her from Kong and getting her hair cut to MJF and then Chris Jericho. How do you get Ali over if you're going straight to Chris and MJF? You don't. Ali's an afterthought. So we get MJF dealing with Chris. Well, let me crank back. We got Chris getting to the ring, saying that, look what happened. I managed to win as a champion. And I love my bubbly and nobody can say I can't do my job. And I want to be, I want an apology from everybody in the back. I don't care about you damn cretins around this ring. I want it from the back. And then MJF comes out. And he was booed beyond stink, which is great. He's supposed to be booed. And then he had his promo segment along with Chris. MJF is a great talker. He just is. I love how MJF talks. He made it very clear. The true enemy here is not me. It's Cody. Cody is trying to use everybody. This is about Cody's ego. He took a kid from New York and he used him, and I'm not going to be used by nobody. And then he turns his attention to Chris, which was the most funniest freaking banter of the entire show. This was the part I loved. You got two great talkers messing with each other, talking smack. This was the best booking of the show. It wasn't about them fighting in the ring. It was about two great talkers messing with each other and one-upping one another. And it was like this. MJF said, you know what? I respect you, but I heard you want me to be part of the Inner Circle. And then Chris said, well, you think I want to be a part of the Inner Circle. I also heard, just like you heard, you want to be a part of the Inner Circle. And they went back and forth and made it just beyond silly. And I don't know if everyone's going to enjoy this. Maybe they'll think it's a little stupid. But I did enjoy it because this was a banter going back and forth. It wasn't totally scripted. MJF botched. And then Chris took that botch and he ran with it. This is what the WWE doesn't get. Let these guys and girls talk, and if they botch, let them recover and let them use the botch in their advantage. Chris did that with MJF. And at the end, they got an attitude to each other. And they said, you know who you need to blame? Cody. Yes, it's cliche. But it worked. No guarantee MJF. Well, I gotta say this. I don't think MJF is joining the Inner Circle, but at least he's friendly with the Inner Circle, and I'm fine with that. Then you got Cody coming down. Cody comes down to the ring. He beats up both of them, which I wasn't surprised. And I believe the guy's name is Warlow. No, Warlow. That's his name. He's in my face. I saw the vignette on him. But the thing is that I only saw one. Once on Dynamite. No, I'm saying Dynamite. Dynamite. That's it. And this still shows the glaring weakness. They don't show enough vignettes or video packages to break up the actions. They're just doing non-stop action that just doesn't give you time to really absorb what's in front of you and enjoy it at home. I'm sure people in the audience at the arena are loving everything going from one to another, not waiting. They don't have to wait. It's not like the WWE. They'll make you wait for who knows how long. But at home, where the majority of the money's coming in, I'm sorry, we need it to be broken up. You're pandering to the people in the arena. What about the people who are giving you money outside the arena? We need something here. So Cody gets destroyed by, Warlow. Choked out. Fine, I'm fine with that. And MJF seems to be the one that might be working with Lauro. Or is it Warlow? I think one of them. In the end, MJF is having a feud with Cody. I'm fine with that. I'm glad. It's perfectly okay. Because at least they built it. Now, a match that made no sense to put on the show. And it reminded me of the WWE's booking. I'm sorry. I don't care if you guys say, oh, come on. It's not like the WWE. Just because they're kind of making it a they're finishing up their rubber match. No. You want to do something different? It's not about making sure the rubber match isn't completed. Why don't you give a story with the rubber match? Unlike the WWE that never gives a story. They have one match with one guy, one match with another guy, and in the end, they settle it with a third match. Not one, three. It felt like it. I'm sorry. It did, and I'm going to call them out on it. If they know better, why would you book this? It's not the point of how good the match was. It wasn't a bad match. I'm sorry. If you think the match was so great, it kind of counteracts it being a booking in WWE. It's wrong for the simple reason that they know better. Cody's been in the WWE. And everybody back there, including Billy Gunn and Diamond Dallas Page and anyone else, they know the booking in the WWE sucks. They shouldn't be trying to do it. They should have built a story around Hangman Page and about Pac. I know I can say Pac. I'm saying Pac. I don't care. But when it comes down to it, why not have Pac, or to make you guys happy, Pac, be so angry, so enraged that he lost to Hangman Page? Instead of him having that match with Hangman Page, They bring out somebody to job for him, and he destroys him. He doesn't give him a chance to have a wrestling match. He just hits him with chair shots, and he does not recover. And he says, "Hangman Page, I can't stand you. I lost. No! No! I want to destroy you." And, excuse me, build it from there. Why not? Build it going into the next pay-per-view. Sorry guys, my throat's still messed up. Why not build this into the next pay-per-view that Pac has gone mad and he doesn't care, that he destroys people before even going into the ring? We know he can beat anybody in the ring, but how would you see the crazy bastard snap because he lost his winning streak to Hangman Page? And the only thing he wants to do is destroy everybody. Everybody. He doesn't even give them a chance to wrestle. He wants to destroy Hangman Page. He doesn't care. He wants his winning streak avenged. That would have been better than this match, where Hangman Page was protected by being unconscious. Kind of like the member of, what is his name? Trent from Best Friends, where he was knocked out when the brutalizer was put on. Instead of him tapping out, he was unconscious. Same thing for Hangman Page. Why didn't Hangman Page just tap? Nope. He got knocked out. It didn't solve anything. That was a bad booking. Flat out, they could have done better. Now, you had, at that point, a brawl in the back. You couldn't even give Pac time. Did he have a promo? Nope, he had no promo. He just made, I know I forgot to say anything about getting hit in the head with the boot of a Pac, but it doesn't make a difference. It's still the same thing. But at that moment when it was done, within a few seconds, they switched to the back, and then they have a fight between PP, Pride and Power, versus the Bucks. Instead of the Bucks having a video package or some type of talking segment in the back or an interview, something, no, they just have a clean fight in the back, and Pride and Power start fighting with them and fighting with them and fighting with them and fighting again and over again until you got the Bucks decimated by Pride and Power. Decimated. And what did we get from that? We got Private Party coming out trying to save the Bucks. Now we're going to have a match next week between Private Party and PP. I'm going to keep saying, I'm sorry. Pride and Power, PNP, PP. That's what the hell they are. They're pissing on themselves. What a name. Who came up with that damn name? It was stupid. But that's just me. You guys can like it, and I understand. But it doesn't feel right with Santana Ortiz. It just doesn't. And then it doesn't make sense for what happened at the end of the night. And I'm being honest here. What happened at the end of the night made it even worse for Pride and Power. But let's move on. We had, now where is it? Now where is that match? Nyla Rose versus Johnson. Can't remember the rest of her name. Oh, Danny Johnson. No, not Danny Johnson. Danny Jordan. My mistake. We got Danny Jordan versus Nyla Rose, who we haven't seen for quite a while. And it's been wondering what's been going on. Is she just trying to make herself better? Because I've said this myself. I know Nyla Rose is not the well-known wrestler. She's only been in the business for a short amount of time. Maybe a couple of years. Not that long. But when it came to the first women's champion, if it's not going to be Awesome Kong, you need the biggest bitch you can get your hands on that at least somewhat works in the ring. And I'm not saying that Nyla Rose was great. It would have been better if Awesome Kong had won. It would have been better if Ali, who's well known enough as Cherry Bomb, had done it. You could have called someone from Impact Wrestling or a former wrestler from WWE that has been well known to be the first woman's champion. Hell, you could have called Angelina Love to do a short job there. Or Velvet Sky. I know guys. I know you don't want that, but you could have called somebody. ODB could have been the first woman. You could have had somebody with some experience who has name recognition to be the first champion, but you use Ryo, a Japanese wrestler who, yes, has 13 years experience and is very popular in Japan, but you give her no story, no video packages, no vignettes on your main show, but you do on not Dynamite, but Dark, which not everyone is going to watch. They're going to watch your main show, and you did nothing with her. So Nia Rose, who has very little, is a more stronger person, a more stronger wrestler and character in the eyes of most of the people there, should have been champ. And she destroyed a Danny Jordan. Annihilated her. I would have liked to see that she had basically a promo. Something. She should have said something, but she didn't. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Finally, you have SCU versus... It's in my face. Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho, Y2J, versus SCU for the AEW tag titles. Now, after you just did Full Gear. You just did Full Gear only a few days ago. And SCU should have been given video packages. Should have been given a promo segment in the ring. They should have rejoiced. And even if the Lucha Brothers had to come back and be dealing with them, or better yet, either the Bucks or Pride and Power, PP, should have been the ones to deal with. Why now? Why now would you have Chris and Guevara without any build-up going into this match, making it mean something that the world champion with one of his underlings is going for the championship titles? Why not build it up for the next couple of weeks, or at least, goodness gracious, a couple of months before the next pay-per-view, the newest pay-per-view to be announced for maybe January or February? Why not do it then? Why? This made no sense. I'm sorry. Anybody who liked the match, it was a good, okay match. It was not the problem the match was good or not. It was that this shouldn't have happened so soon with no build-up, no video packages, no vignette, no interviews, nothing. And if anyone says you got AEW Dark, you can, I'm sorry, kiss my black ass, because my ass is black. And I don't mean it in that respect, but it's the best way to say it, because not everyone watch YouTube for this. They watch Dynamite. Dynamite. They're not like they're sponsoring AEW Dark with showing some videos of what happened on AEW Dark. I know they did it maybe once. And that was 2 weeks ago. Or 3 weeks ago. I don't remember. 2 or 3 weeks ago they did that. It is not the same as your main show. You must show them. And you must make the show mean something. If you're one long action, how is anyone going to really enjoy it? It's like going from one stunt to another stunt, to another stunt, to another stunt. And it's cool at first. Maybe you've never seen it before. It's unique. But how long can you keep doing that until you get bored of it? And then the most important parts are cut out because you have to go into a small screen like this when they go to commercial, and there's no audio. When the most important parts that can help get things over for your wrestlers, your storylines, your feuds is now muted, and no one knows what's going on. Bad booking. I'm sorry. This was bad booking. Was there good stuff on the show? Of course there was. It's good to see Nia Rose again, and maybe now she'll go after Ryo, because right now Ryo has nothing. It was good to see MJF dealing with Chris. Both these guys are great talkers, and that banter between them was so funny. I loved it. That was the highlight of the show. But I look at all this. This show was badly booked. Now, I'm sure no one's going to agree with me. And if you do, I'm glad, but if you don't agree, explain why. Explain why I'm wrong about the booking being so atrocious. And like WWE in many ways, what did they learn? They're trying to be like WWE. And I'm sure anyone's going to say, well, this is only one episode. Well, if they continue this, how long do you think you're going to keep your attention span? Because it's not much different from WWE. This impression is important because this is only the first, not even 6 months in. They're barely a month out. And if they start looking like WWE, who's going to care? But just my point of view. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.